From the studios in San Diego, California, this is Frank Fired Up here on the Mixed Up Sports Network, coming to you live here on this Monday. It is the 6th day, of February 2017, coming off of probably the most entertaining Super Bowl in recent memory. You had a game that was really one-sided in the first half, comes back the other way in the second half. Just a very, very entertaining game by and by as you look through what happened during the game, as you look through what it took to win that game for the New England Patriots. I mean, that was, again, the greatest comeback in the history of the Super Bowl. And that is not a question. Capped off by the Patriots finally getting a big catch of their own. I mean, that's happened to them 3 times now, where a big catch has gone against them. First, it was Tyree, the infamous helmet catch. Then it was Mario Manningham on the sideline. Then it was Jermaine Kearse for Seattle. And now you have the catch by Julian Edelman, which will probably go down as the best catch in Super Bowl history, because that catch was seemingly impossible. And the only reason why he makes that catch is because it goes off the defender's leg first. And that was clearly a catch. How he made it, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that makes up, and for Edelman, that is a redemption catch tenfold. Because if you remember in 46, he had a big drop in that game wide open that would have put the Patriots in field goal range that could have iced that game against the Giants. So that was a redemption catch for Edelman. And for the Pats, it was a big, momentous catch to just continue a big, momentous drive in the middle of a big, momentous comeback that saw them win it in overtime. When the Pats win the overtime coin toss, there is no doubt in that game anymore. You know Atlanta's not getting the ball back. You know New England is marching right downfield. They had all the momentum at that point. All of it and then some. I thought the decision after the touchdown that made it 28-20, I thought the decision to boot it there was the wrong decision. I thought go for the onside kick. But their defense came up with because if they go down and they score, and that is the drive of the game. That defensive stand. Of course you can point to the touchdown. Of course you can point to the touchdown that won the game. You can point to the Amendola catch, which I've said it for years. Amendola is the most underrated receiver on that core for the Patriots. He may not get the volume of catches that Edelman gets. He may not get the big catches that Hogan got 2 weeks ago in the AFC Championship game. But when you need a big catch, when you need a guaranteed play, Amendola is the guy to get it. And he has proven that time and time again. And last night again was just another case. Not to say that was necessarily a hard catch, but to make that quick step back when you know you have a guy who is going to level you, that's a big play. That is a big play. But again, the drive of the night is that defensive stand by Atlanta, that defensive stand by the Patriots in that drive where Atlanta got into field goal range. They were in field goal range. They were in field goal range. Then it's Hooper gets the 9-yard catch. I believe this is it. Or actually, oh no, this isn't it. Yeah, this is it here. Ryan completes the pass to Sanu for 12. Hooper for 4. Then Matt Ryan spikes it. The Hooper's incompletion. 4th and 4. Or actually, wait a minute. It was the I'm trying to find the plays on that series. But it was that was Atlanta's last drive. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It was the drive that Devontae Freeman started with that big 40-yard run from the 10. So they get to the 49. Then on a 27-yard pass to Julio Jones, and I was just about to say, watching it with a group of people, I was just about to say, you have not heard Julio Jones' name all second half. Julio Jones did not make one big play the entirety of that second half until this drive. He makes the catch, gets them inside field goal range, gets them inside the 25. Then on the next 3 plays, negative 1-yard run for Devontae Freeman. Ryan gets sacked for 12. A offensive holding on Matthews. And then the incompletion. They're down at the 45. Kick gets them out of field goal range. That is the drive of the game. Because if they stay inside even the 35, if they do not get that holding call on Matthews, that's the game. Because that was 3rd and 23. The holding call pushes them back to 3rd and 33. On that play, Sanu made a 9-yard reception, so that's third down. That's 3rd down and 14 from the 24. That's a field goal. That's an easy field goal. And that ices the game for Atlanta. The sack was massive. The hold is what helps the Patriots win the game. Then Ryan's forced to pass it deep. Gabriel unable to make the catch. They have to punt it away. Brady starts from his own 9. The catch by Julian Edelman. A 20-yard catch for Amendola. A 13-yard play for White. Another 7-yard play for White. And then White rushes it in. And that's the game. That's the tie, at least. And then in overtime, it was Hogan for 18, Edelman for 15. Bennett gets a pass interference call on the 1. And if anyone else was thinking the same thing I was losing my mind when I saw Brady try to throw it on 1st and goal from the 2 in overtime. I'm sitting there going, you won a game because of a play like that. And you saw the backlash that Seattle got and really are still getting because of that play call. And then in a chance to win the game, to win the Super Bowl, you go on and do the exact same thing. And it was almost picked. I don't know if that was McDaniels or if that was Belichick. Whoever made that play call has got to be slapped. They have to be slapped. I'm sorry. They have to be. There is that to do that made absolutely no sense, especially when you saw it happen in front of your face and you saw how badly it could go wrong. And it almost went that wrong. That game-winning touchdown, listen, I've been seeing pictures online. He was in. White was in. I'm sorry, he was in. He crosses the goal line, he crosses the plane. Then he gets pushed back and his knee hits the ground. The picture that you're seeing going around saying, "Oh my God, the Patriots got lucky. He didn't score." That was after he had already crossed and got pushed back. And honestly, to those people who are complaining about that, what happens then? You give the Patriots 3 plays to move 2 inches. All Tom Brady, and then you know what the play call is. It's a QB sneak. Brady scores the winning touchdown. As Brady has done all throughout his career. If they call no touchdown on that play, Brady keeps it. Brady keeps it the next play. The game's over. I'm sorry, you give him 2 plays to go 2 yards. My bad. Or to go 2 inches. The game is over either way. It's either you give them the touchdown on the white play on 2nd and 2, or Brady gets the touchdown on a quarterback keeper from an inch, where all he has to do is stand up and hold the ball out. That's it. That's all he'd have to do. The center would actually snap the ball from the end zone. So what's the difference? There is none. The big question going around now is, was this more of an Atlanta choke or a Patriots win? And I'll tell you what, it's a combination of both. Brady had one of the worst games I have seen Tom Brady have in a very, very long time. He went 43 for 62 for 466 yards, an NFL record in the Super Bowl. But if you look at some of the plays that he had made, they were dreadful. Some of the passes he had made were absolutely dreadful. Throwing short, leading guys too far. He had a bad night. And part of that is because of the defensive line. The defense for Atlanta did a phenomenal job of disrupting Brady, putting Brady on his rear end. Brady was having war flashbacks to 42 and 46. I said that on Friday. That was going to be the key. Atlanta has to disrupt Brady. That defensive line has to get in on Brady. And if they do, they will mess him up something fierce. And they did. Jarrett tied a Super Bowl record for 3 sacks. Dwight Freeney had 1. Upshaw had 1. But I'll tell you what, Grady Jarrett, in just his second year, Atlanta native, the kid's only 23 years old. I'll tell you what, that kid is a gamer. A lot of us don't get to watch the Atlanta Falcons during the season. I know I certainly didn't. This may have been a coming out party for him. Because the guy had, because the guy had 3 sacks all year. He had 1 sack against Denver in Week 5. He had 1 sack against Tampa Bay in Week 9. And 1 sack against New Orleans in Week 17. He goes into the Super Bowl and matches his season total for sacks. That's incredible. That's unbelievable. In the Super Bowl. That may, again, like I said, that may have been a coming out party for him. Grady Jarrett, I'll tell you, he might be a defensive tackle to watch next year. Because he had Tom Brady. He didn't know. Brady didn't know what to do. You thought it was going to be a good game going in. Atlanta, 2 of Atlanta's touchdowns are off of turnovers. The first touchdown of the game was because of the fumble. By LeGarrette Blount, where he got stripped. Then you have the touchdown. Then you have the pick 6 by Alford. And I'll tell you what, I said it last night. I put it on social media last night. The interception, the pick 6 by Alford, was a blatant disrespect for sportsmanship. It was a blatant disrespect. You want to celebrate in the end zone, that's fine. You don't make a spectacle of yourself and walk and strut and juke and jive your way the last 15 yards as slowly as you possibly can. That is flat out disrespecting your opponent, paying no mind for sportsmanship. That was a disgrace. That was honestly a disgrace. He worked for that pick, and he broke free rather easily because of his speed. And by that time, he only had Brady to beat. You do not walk and showboat. You don't Cadillac at the last 15 yards. You want to showboat and you want to make a spectacle of yourself in the end zone, that's fine, but you run your way into the end zone. You don't start a Ric Flair-esque strut going from the 15. That is disrespect. He's lucky he wasn't on offense because one of the Patriots. If I were a Patriot defender and Alfred was on offense, I would have laid him out. If he was in the play or not, he would have been on the ground. You don't do that. That is flat out disrespectful. When that game goes into the half 21-3, you're thinking, okay, Belichick is going to chew them out. They're going to come back with a fire lit under them. They are going to be PO'd, and they are going to come out and get this. First series, they have to punt, and then first series on defense, Atlanta scores a touchdown. You sit there going, really? And I think at that point, a lot of people turn the game off. Because when it's 28-3 halfway through the third quarter in the Super Bowl, the game's over. At least it should be. Falcons had a 99.6% chance to win the game in the third quarter. That's from ESPN. And they lost. Partially because of play calling. The why they went away from the running game is beyond me. Devontae Freeman had 11 rushes for 75 yards. Coleman had 7 for 29. And Freeman was breaking runs off left and right in the first half. Second half, they ran the ball for four times for 10 yards total in the second half. Now, Freeman did have that big run. Devontae Freeman had that big run. That was their only notable run play in the second half. Period. They had 2 or 3 in the first half. Then Ryan started inexplicably just launching the ball. And he wasn't launching it to Julio Jones. It was to Sanu. It was to Gabriel. You had these stupid check down passes, which I'm hating more and more as the years gone on. Anytime the quarterback thinks he's in half a dangerous situation, he's dumping it off to the back. That's not football. It's not. The check down pass has made football more or less and less entertaining as the weeks go on. Because what you need for a good check down offense is a running back like a Devontae Freeman, guy who can stop on a dime and change direction, like a Le'Veon Bell. Other than that, it doesn't work. You need good big blockers in order for it to work, and most teams don't have that off of the line. Some teams don't even have it on the line. And then as the Patriots start to gain that little tiny bit of momentum, that is all. I mean, we've seen it for years. That is all the Patriots need. They need a small window. You give them a small window, they are going to exploit it, and you are in trouble. I said last night, there is one explanation, and one explanation only, for what happened last night. And the answer to that is simple. Tom freaking Brady. You're listening to Frank Fired Up the day after the Super Bowl here on the Mixed Up Sports Network. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're back. You're listening to Frank Fired Up here on the Mixed Up Sports Network. Ratings for the Super Bowl from CNBC.com. Super Bowl 51 drew a 48.8 overnight rating, which is lower than the last two games. Last year's Super Bowl drew a 49, and Super Bowl 49 drew a 49.7. So it's not much lower. It's lower by 0.2%, but it's going down. And I would have to assume that part of the reason for that rating dip is because the game was seemingly over at the half. Speaking of the half, that halftime show, I'm not a huge Lady Gaga fan. I do like the fact that she's kind of toned it down from her whole Mother Monster bit that she had when she first started, when she first became famous. The entrance I liked. I liked the whole singing God Bless America and that, and on top of the stadium. That was interesting, and I was waiting at that point for the political thing that she was expected to say, but she didn't, fortunately, which I give credit to her for that, because she was under a lot of pressure to make a political stand at this halftime show. The jump off the roof, to say the very least, could have been a little bit more graceful. I mean, personally, for me, I would have just turned around and fell off. I'd have just turned around, put my arms out, and fell back. I wouldn't have done what she did. Like I said, that could have been a touch more graceful. Then the start of it was the start of it followed wrestling protocol, which is flippy stuff gets the headlines or gets the highlights. And then after she undid herself or got undone from the harness, the choreography was just, it was weird. It was not. I wasn't sure what I was watching. She made you in that halftime show go, what in the world are you doing? And I understand that people who like Lady Gaga and have seen her perform live, they get it. But for the masses that don't or haven't, you don't get it, or we don't get it. And it's, I mean, it made you scratch. It was like, what are you doing? I can honestly say there were like 2 or 3 times in that performance where I said, what am I, are you kidding? What am I watching? It was weird. It really was. I wouldn't call it bad. I wouldn't say she stunk because she worked her butt off. You could tell every step of the way, every second of that performance, she was working her butt off. And I'll give her a lot of credit because she actually sang instead of trying to lip sync it. So I'll give her all the credit in the world for that. But I mean, for people who don't know you and people who don't get you, it was weird. It was, again, like I said, it was several times during that. I'm like, what in the world am I watching? The jump off the stadium was weird. The jump at the end was weird. It was the whole piano thing, saying hi to her mom and dad. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The overall performance, I would say, was unique. To put it nicely, it was unique. Which, and to be fair, that's what she is. She is unique, and she has gone her entire career based off. She's performed her entire career based off of that being unique. So it was true. It was true to her. It was true to her. It was true to the character she tries to portray. So I can't say anything bad about it. I just don't get her, so I guess I didn't get the performance. As far as the commercials go, the commercials were dreadful this year. Like one of my friends said, had a he had a I mean he had more fun watching the memes on Facebook. The Anheuser-Busch commercial, the Anheuser-Busch commercial, I thought that was good. Um, Coca-Cola reran the same America the Beautiful commercial from 2014. The We Accept commercial, the avocado, the avocados from Mexico commercial. That wasn't that bad. That was the deflate joke where one of the avocados at the end was deflated. The Mr. Clean commercial was fantastic. That was it. That was funny. The Mr. Clean commercial was funny. The NFL, the Super Bowl babies commercial, that was cute. Um, Snickers commercial was kind of a. The Humpty Dumpty commercial wasn't funny. That lasted a little too long. The Skittles commercial was okay. The Gronkowski T.O. Justin Bieber commercial was blah. That went on way too long at the end with just Justin dancing. That went way too long. The Buick commercial with Cam Newton, though, that was the best of the night. The Cam Newton commercial with the Buick was the best of the night. That was definitely the best one. My first that was a good one. As one of the guys I was watching the game with, anytime you can throw a football as hard as you can and like launch a kid 15 yards, it's funny. And I agree. Um, the Audi commercial was okay. The Tide commercials with Terry Bradshaw, that was funny. That was a good one. I'll give it that. Including the one after the game where what's his name? I forget his name. The lead guy for the Fox pregame shows. He goes, "Can I go?" Don't even think about it. That was a good one. That one was a good one also. Um, the one for Bush was stupid. The what's that Australian beer? What the Australian wine? I can't think of the name of the Australian wine. That one was okay. Um, yeah, that one was okay. It's something tail. Oh, I can't think of it. Um, Yellowtail. Yeah, the yellowtail commercial. That one was okay. So but overall, this was a very, very weak year for commercials. The Buick one was good. That was my favorite. The Buick one was good. The Anheuser-Busch one was okay. The Mr. Clean commercial was fantastic. The Super Bowl babies commercial was good. Other than the Skittles commercial was all right. I mean, other than that, that Tide commercial was all right. But other than that, I mean, the commercials this year were just absolutely dreadful. I mean, the the ones you'll see on TV all year are definitely going to be the Buick and the Mr. Clean commercial. Those are the ones that are going to be on air all year. Other than that, I can't. I don't think you'll see another one of those Super Bowl commercials. Again, I really don't. We'll get into a quick discussion about where Tom Brady ranks all time now, as if it was any question. We'll go through the New York area games from last night and tonight, and then we'll wrap up the program here on this post Super Bowl Monday. You're listening to Frank Fired Up here on the Mix Up Sports Network. Don't go away. All right, you're listening to Frank Fired Up here on the Mix Some Sports Network. We're back. Last night, what you saw, besides the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, the fifth Super Bowl victory for the Pats, the second most all time, only behind the Pittsburgh Steelers now. Tom Brady winning his fifth Super Bowl, passing Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana, and his fourth Super Bowl MVP, passing Joe Montana. That and Tom Brady setting a passing yards record in the Super Bowl with 466. What you saw last night was a man cement his legacy as the greatest quarterback of all time. As if there was any question beforehand as to who was the greatest. Was it Brady? Was it Montana? Was it Manning? Was it somebody else? There's no debating it now. Tom Brady, as much as people don't want to hear it, as much as people are not going to like it, Tom Brady is, beyond any shadow of a doubt now, the greatest quarterback of all time. First ballot Hall of Famer, that's a lock. That was a lock years ago. Tom Brady is now the official bar. If you want to be great, if you want to be known now as the greatest quarterback of all time, you now have to do what Tom Brady has done, which is something that no one else has ever done. Beyond any doubt, beyond any question, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Winning his fifth Super Bowl, his fourth MVP, the year that he had, the career that he's had, the way they won that game, coming back from 25 points down in the second half and 19 points down in the fourth quarter. There is no more questioning. There is no more doubting. There is no more debate. There is no more argument. Sixth round pick out of Michigan. Tom Brady, who stepped on the field because of an injury to Drew Bledsoe, is the greatest quarterback of all time. It's not Peyton Manning. It's not Joe Montana. It's not Terry Bradshaw. It is Tom Brady. And with the way he looks like he could go on for another 3, 4, even 5 years. Which for the rest of the league is a dangerous proposition. For Atlanta and Matt Ryan, Ryan won the MVP award this year. Congratulations to him. He earned it. I mean, he led the number one offense all season long. He earned it. He deserves it. On a night where Brady had a bad game, a night where Atlanta's offense seemed to be clicking, a night where their defense, especially their defensive front, was fantastic. What happened in the second period was they got away from the game plan. They started to pass the ball a lot more than they ran it. That, and they let the Patriots hold on to the ball for way too long. And when you give Tom Brady that many chances, it's not going to end well for you. It just isn't going to end well for you. So was it a case of the Patriots winning or the Falcons losing? It's always, always, always. It's always both. Because one team has to do something in order to win. The other team has to do something in order to lose. The Pats got back on it and did what the Patriots are known for doing, which is win games. And generally be great. That is what the Patriots did. The Falcons got away from their game plan and gave Tom Brady way too much time to operate. And when you do that, you're going to lose. They did not give the ball away on offense. Matt Ryan had the one fumble. They didn't give up big plays on defense. As much as you want to say the Edelman catch shouldn't have happened, there were a couple of plays. Amendola's shouldn't have happened. Hogan's catch shouldn't have happened. You're right. You can say those were big plays, but here's the difference here's what I'm talking about when I call a big play. A play where there is big yards beyond the line or beyond the point of where the play starts. When Edelman made that catch, he stopped right there. When Hogan made his catch, he was brought down immediately. When Amendola made his catch, he was brought down immediately. Amendola didn't make a catch at the line of scrimmage and then ran it for 20. That's a big play. When Brady throws for 20 yards, that's a play. A big play is what you make of a play. The Falcons didn't allow big plays on defense. That, and they disrupted Brady like no one has been able to disrupt Brady since Super Bowl 46. So did the Falcons lose? Yes, because they got away from their game plan. Did the Patriots win? Yes, because they had all the time in the world to operate, and they had the best quarterback ever guiding them. That is what happened. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. That is what happened. We'll try to get Kershaw on. We'll try to get Nick on to talk about this incredible, incredible Super Bowl over these upcoming days. Really quick, we'll just go through some of the New York area scores from this past week. The Islanders lose to the Hurricanes. This is back on Saturday in overtime, 5-4. This would be the second straight loss for the Islanders. They've only gotten in since Doug Waite has become the head coach of the Islanders. The Islanders have only gone one game without scoring a point, and they are right back in it for the playoff hunt. They are very, very close. The Devils beat the Blue Jackets 5-1. Again, those scores were Saturday. From yesterday, Super Bowl Sunday, you had the Rangers defeat the Flames 4-3. Michael Grabner scores his 23rd goal in that game. Would have loved to have seen him do that with the Islanders, but hey, you can't have everything. Both games going on right now. The New Jersey Devils are scoreless with the Buffalo Sabres right now, with about 5 minutes left in the first period. 6:33 to go in the first period. Islanders and Maple Leafs from Barclays Center. Nikita Soshnikov has scored for the Maple Leafs. Ryan Strome gets his 8th for the Islanders. So it is 1-1 at the Barclays Center between the Islanders and the Maple Leafs this evening at the Barclays Center. The New York Knicks currently in action against the LA Lakers at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks currently trailing 20-13 with 2:52 to go in the first. Nets losing last night to the yesterday. Nets losing yesterday 103-95 against the Raptors. Saturday, the Knicks losing 111-104 against the Cavs. And then Friday, Nets losing to the Pacers 106-97. Meanwhile, I thought the Knicks were playing Friday. I guess they didn't. So there you go. We'll have more on the Knicks tomorrow. We'll have more on the Knicks tomorrow, as they went through quite a roller coaster of a game against the Cavaliers, with Carmelo Anthony apparently trying to quiet the crowd on Saturday night. Which, listen, the fans have every right to express their opinion. That comes with the price of admission. If you don't like what they have to say, then you know what? Change your performance. Change what you're doing. I mean, that's, again, we'll get into it more tomorrow. We'll also get into the Mets tomorrow. We'll get into the Yankees tomorrow. We'll get into hockey a little bit, as the NFL season, as of last night, is officially over. Eyes turn to hockey and basketball for these next couple weeks. Then the sports world gets thrown into baseball season. Then it'll be time for the NBA and NHL playoffs. Then you get into the dog days of summer. Before you know it, football will be back. So thank you very, very much for listening today. We'll have a little bit more on the Super Bowl tomorrow, of course, as new things still come out. But for today, that will do it. Thank you very, very much for listening. I will see you guys tomorrow.